Welcome back to Reality Check Podcast, everyone. I am one of your hosts, Mare, and we have
Diana. Hello, everybody.
Yay! Welcome back. We're ready to serve some tea and disperse some checks today. And we have returning with us again, Besties by Bravo, Miss Caitlin.
Hi. Thank you
Our
for
podcast
having me
bestie.
again.
Yes, of
yes.
course.
My
We always
podcast
love having you.
besties. I love chatting with y'all. Seriously. So much
Absolutely.
fun.
We love chatting with you.
We agree. It's definitely girl chat time. So
Yes, ma'am.
we've got some things to talk about. We're covering Real Housewives of Atlanta today, everybody, and so we have 2 episodes that we're going to try and cover quickly on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I think let's just start talking a little bit about how we're feeling about this cast this season. I think we've had some thoughts on them. So, how are you guys feeling about the cast of Atlanta this season?
This cast is not working. This cast is not working, period. And this cast is not working together. I don't think the characters and the personalities, they don't mesh. They don't bring to... First of all, they're not a real girl group. You know what I mean? And if Real Housewives are the franchises, they're about following the lives of a group of friends, like, these people are not friends. They don't even remotely like each other at this point. They are just co-workers. You know what I mean? And they are, even the friendships that are forming, Carlos King actually said this, and I absolutely agree with him. I can't believe I do. But he said that the friendships that are there, they're actually there by alliance and as a matter of convenience. They're not actually friends. You know what I mean? So to speak, they're there because there's nobody else to really be. He was specifically talking about Kenya and Kandi.
Really?
And he said, he highlighted, and I was like, that's a really good point. He said, if you think about season 5 and season 6 of RHOA, you had Phaedra, Nene, Portia, Cynthia, Kandi, and Kenya, right? Now, 4 of that 6 are gone, and all you have left are Kandi and Kenya, you know? So it's like, one, just by experience and just by that familiarity, because these 2 have been there since season 6 or season 5 together, or whatever the case is. It seems that their friendship is just as a matter of like an alliance, as opposed to like they actually have a genuine friendship.
That's weird. I disagree. But go ahead, Caitlin. Talk.
Oh, no, that's interesting, because I did feel like they do have a good friendship. But here's the thing. Sometimes some of your best friendships can come about from coworkers, you know?
That's right. Yeah.
So I could see that they actually became friends, because this is not just like your typical co-working situation. You know, I really feel as though they deal with the spotlight. They deal with so many different things. And, you know, I do think that they're genuine friends. I do. I think that, you know, just kind of like how, you know, New Jersey is not New Jersey without Teresa. I feel like Atlanta is not Atlanta without Kandi.
Whoa.
So I listen.
That's
I
a
think
statement.
it is.
Sorry.
It is, because she's been there from day one.
She has.
And
She's an OG.
Day 2. She's
yes.
not.
She's an OG.
She joined season 2. She's not an OG.
Well, she's the longest running housewife.
She's
She
the
is.
longest
on
running.
any show. Yes.
That she is.
So maybe not. She was there day 2. We'll
Yeah.
see. Maybe not day
Day
1.
2.
My biggest thing too is that like Atlanta was like one of, because I remember
A staple.
I was so young when Atlanta like really like came on the scene.
Same.
And I knew Orange County, and I was like, okay, yeah, I like it, because I mean I was in high school. Atlanta was it though.
Yeah.
Something about the dynamics there. And I hate to say it, but the Nene and Kim dynamic was so good. And Kim is problematic as hell.
She
And
is.
she continues to be. Mind you. It's kind of like that lightning in a bottle thing, like that. It's you know, it's like we didn't know they were the good old days.
Yeah.
And we're never, I mean, they erased Nene already, but yeah, the friendships, it's like they're all grasping at straws with each other.
They are.
Yeah, it's Marlo put it best when she said we look like a bootleg girl group, right? In that last episode.
That is hilarious. That's actually so true.
Like, that is so true because you guys are not meshing at all very well together. But yeah,
they're forcing Courtney in this weird way.
Can we talk about her? Because I'm like, who is this cousin Courtney? Who is cousin Courtney?
Yes, cousin Courtney.
Listen.
Why is
are we
she here?
doing this?
And how is she randomly a cousin? But she's actually not there by way of Drew. She's actually there by way of either Sheree or Marlo. So it makes no sense.
Bizarre.
Makes
very bizarre.
Zero sense.
She doesn't fit into that coalition there either.
That girl
So
Fatima fit in better.
yeah, Fatima.
Was that
I would have
crazy,
loved
but-
to see more of her.
Am
That
I
was
pronouncing it correctly?
No, I don't know.
correct. That's her
Was
name.
that her name? The one
That's
from
her
last
name.
year, right? The
thought
one
it-
that Drew threw bones at. Thought she was so cute with that nonsense.
her.
Yeah, she threw bones at her. Was that her?
She was like, you wanted. Yeah,
She's like, you're Sheree's lap dog.
Sheree's
Take
lap
a bone.
dog, thank
Yeah.
you. I was like,
Yeah.
and she's
Yeah,
like,
that would have been more interesting, I guess.
and
No,
then
but-
we found out Drew doesn't even have a dog at home. She had to go to like Walmart or
I
PetSmart
know,
or
And
so,
buy
something
the,
to get that.
she's so whack. She's so
But she's an
whack.
actress. That's what she does, you know? That's just what she does.
Barely an actress. But anyway, so the thing is, I think that the main reason why this cast does not work together is because I feel like they have majority of the cast are supporting cast members as opposed to the main show. You know what I mean? And because of that, it's just like Sheree, I never would have. Sheree's not someone that I would actually watch just to enjoy her. She's
No.
not. Marlo was a
I
friend
want
of
her
for
there.
however. Yeah, Marlo was a
not.
friend for however. Actually, no, I don't watch Sheree there. She's boring and not into me. But Marlo was a friend of for however long. Drew.
I know
Sanya.
it's something.
I don't know why we don't like Drew so much. I think Drew has her ways about her, but I think she
I don't know why-
she works.
I can learn to
Yeah.
like Drew, but I just feel like
works.
Drew is giving us what she thinks the audience
There you go.
wants, as opposed to being her true self. That's what
I
I
think we're gonna
believe
get
she's
that.
doing.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I think now that Ralph is going to be out of the picture, I think we're going to get that.
I hope
because
so.
there is something about Drew that I always want to like,
Mm-hmm.
and I do inherently like her. I don't know if it's that she has that little cherub face.
I know,
don't
she's
know
so
what
cute,
it
though.
is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
just so she's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes she says stuff that whenever it was the whole thing where Sanya was saying, "Oh, I don't know if I want to have another baby," and Ross is like, "Yeah, I want another baby, whatever," and Drew says, "Well, your man wants another baby, so you need to do that."
Right.
Excuse me, what is she
True.
like? A
Right.
concubine?
True.
Excuse
I
me,
know.
let's not.
I know.
It was wild. So your man wants another. You
Drew
are
is
expected to go
just
through
not-
all
I
of
know
that.
she's not
it was
aware. I feel
wild.
like.
I don't think she even believes the words that come out of her mouth
No.
sometimes. I think that
But
I
you
feel like
could
she's
see
constantly
it.
in show mode.
You're right, because you could see it.
Yeah.
I don't mean to jump ahead, but even when Ralph ends up coming and being in the music video, and it's almost like
Yeah.
she's acting there, where she's like,
Ex-
"Well, honey, no one was double
no one.
booked.
No,
Thank
I agree.
you.
No one
Thank
double
you
booked."
so much.
Right.
And then it was so uncomfortable.
Watching
now,
that. Lap
yeah,
dance.
mind
Very-
you, I'm not expecting
Barely
women to have
stop.
the abs. Good.
Barely said. You just stop. It was very. I thought I should not be in this married couple's bedroom. This is weird.
Right?
I felt
Yeah.
so
Because they're so
icky.
protective of it.
Girl.
She's been protective of it.
Yeah.
Isn't her mom a pastor?
Yes, her mom is a
So
pastor.
that's she's been pleasing mom this whole time.
Yeah.
And I think, at least I hope, now that Ralph is gone, Drew's gonna go, you know what? I am woman. I can do this on my own.
Let me roar.
Let me roar, yeah.
Yes. And just go after it and be herself.
I hope so.
yeah.
I do hope
I
that
hope
we
so, too.
get
She's
Drew
got
being
moves.
herself. Yeah. I
Yeah,
hope so.
she's talented, and I'd love to see
She
more
is.
of that, on the show for her. And I think that she's gonna come out of her shell. If the divorce is it final or is it not final
No.
yet? We don't know.
No.
And I don't know if they had a prenup either, so I think it's going to be a little messy.
Oh wow. Okay.
Allegedly. Excuse me. Allegedly.
And allegedly Ralph is a big old fat cheater.
Yeah. Allegedly.
That part.
Allegedly, which is.
But let's just keep it pushing. But like the main thing that's happening this season on Real Housewives of Atlanta is the storyline about Kandi not doing more for Marlo regarding the death of Marlo's nephew. Now, during the promotionals for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Sheree and Marlo have been, together saying we made Kandi work for her peach this season. Like, we're doing all this stuff. And I was just like, interesting. Okay.
From you two.
Right? From these two. So, what is going on? And what do we think about the attack on Kandi regarding what she did or did not do regarding this death of the nephew? And what do we think about that storyline, the death of the nephew and the impact it's having on Marlo? Does she have anything to stand on with this?
No.
Diana, I'm gonna let you go.
This is not okay. This is not okay. Because all I keep thinking about every time Marlo brings up her nephew is the mother of that child that died or that man that passed away. That's all I keep thinking about. And imagine you are Marlo's, I don't know if it's her sister or whoever it is that is related to her that makes, the connection. Just imagine you watching this show, knowing that this is being used just to make someone work for their peach. Like, it's actually gut-wrenching. It's sick. Gut-wrenching. Like, first and foremost, losing a child. I don't have children and I've never lost a child, but I've seen mothers that have lost children. And that's probably the one thing, actually not the one thing I cry about many things, I'm a crybaby, but that will make you cry on an instant. Seeing like how heartbroken a mother is over their deceased child it just takes something completely away from me. So to see Marlo just using this story, I think is problematic, and I'm not for it. I hear some of the points that she's trying to make, but I think what is really what's hurting Marlo is the fact that she does not know how to speak. And I mean in the sense that she does not know how to articulate herself and how to drive the actual point home and how to actually get her message conveyed and get her message across. She doesn't know how to do that, and it's coming off really, really poorly. Her trauma is also seeping through in this. It is because she connects love and appreciation or friendship, any type of relationship, to materialistic things.
There you go.
Kandi would have been absolutely right and okay in her book had she gotten her flowers. So all of this is because Kandi didn't get you flowers?
Or cater the repast.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So it's just, it's a no for me.
I had a friend like that. I had a friend like that.
You have a friend like that, Caitlin?
I had.
You had.
Okay.
Yes. Who,
Child?
and it came from, so she grew up, not, like, money was an insecurity, things like that. And she would keep friendships and talk about friendships as, oh, well, she bought me this. Oh, well, this friend bought me that. And it kind of would be like, yeah, but I was a broke actress in LA for 10 years. And for me to beg my boss to leave early because I found out when I wasn't even supposed to be checking my phone that your father died. And I was like, to be able to leave that job early to come be with you by your side. Yes, I could not afford a $700 plane ticket to a Midwest state the next day and take off of work. But to me, it was like, man, girl, the sacrifices I'm making because of course I'm going to be there for you.
Absolutely.
And so, and that's the thing too, is I get frustrated with Marlo because she will start out being like, I am, I go to my life coach. So I'm working on speaking to people in that manner. And then the way I like to kind of refer to her as Marlo the belt, Marlo below the belt, because
I like that.
Marlotta.
I mean, girls, like the way she'll be here, and then as soon as she's like, oh, I'm not winning, she will go solo, like going after Kenya saying your mother abandoned you. Like, what type of what type of human being can say those words to another human being on more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 occasions?
Right.
I can't, like, to say something like this to someone and have to watch the pain flash across their face. Marlo, you've been in painful situations yourself. Why would you do that? It's like Kenya can be, I love Kenya, so bear with me.
For one person who agrees with me. Go ahead, Caitlin. Sorry. Me and Diana hate disparate sides. I love me some Kenya.
I love
Go ahead, Caitlin.
Y'all, please don't do this.
Finally, I'm not alone.
Can I tell you guys something? My mom, literally, I did a review on, I think it was New Jersey, and she cannot stand Teresa. She called me and cursed me out because I think I said one small thing about Melissa. She cursed me out.
Oh my God.
And she cannot stand Kenya. If she hears this podcast, I'm going to get cursed out, y'all. So please just pretend.
Mom. It's okay.
Listen, I will tell you, Kenya can be insufferable.
She can.
Like, I thought she was so mean when she showed up at Marlo's event with her marching band. That was horrible. Was it great television? Yes.
It was excellent.
It was, I mean, she can be insufferable.
Good God.
Like, that being said, she does not deserve to be called, like, out. And, like, the way these women have been to Kenya, though, my God. Nene calling her like what, like a water buffalo or something like that when she was pregnant. Remember? Like, listen, I had like the worst things said to me when I was pregnant. And so I know, like, I literally had a boss come up to me. I was 4 or 5 months pregnant. Oh, I keep thinking they're going to find a secret twin in there.
Wow.
Bitch, what?
Wow.
Talking about the size of my belly.
Wow.
Like, ma'am, I was underweight when I got pregnant. So yes, I was very thin. And then yes, I grew an 8.5 pound baby.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna show.
Right.
And I was like, listen, I am not an actor in LA anymore. I'm gonna eat my donuts.
Good.
So I did.
Yep. Yep.
And my mac and cheese.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
As
that
you
being
should.
said, like, they've been pretty awful to Kenya too. But yes, Kenya can be. I forgot where I was going with that. But that being said, Marlo just, it's like she's that person that you're like, you want to see her have growth. And then you see it for a second. And then she has like, it's like a 180. It's never.
No, it's never like, it never goes high. There's something that always like brings her back down. Like really. And I think for Marlo, I agree with everything y'all saying about her, right? My continuous issue with her is the fact that she really needs to find some joy and wholeness inside, right? There's this thing that she continues to expect from Kandi.
Yes.
That I am like, I don't know why you expect this from this woman who by all means, she's possibly done everything that a regular acquaintance or friend is going to do for you, your nephews, everyone, right? She's done it. What else do you want from Kandi, right? What other accountability is there that you want from Kandi? Because let me just say, the season before, didn't Marlo keep saying that Kandi was sucking somebody's penis, like in the locker room?
She was
it's
saying
like
she was giving it out for free, calling her like a whore, literally.
Literally, every chance that she gets, she's going to say something snide, rude, and mean about somebody that isn't doing for her the way that she sees fit, and it's just like Kandi is not gonna. You're not her friend. You actually are not her friend. So what more do you want? And I love the fact that the producers brought out the receipts. Woo! I was like
to see Kandi speak nicely.
Every
Kindly
single
about
time.
her.
Even Marlo getting a peach, Kandi was vying for her to get that peach. So like, what is the problem? I honestly can't stand Marlo. I think that the fact that this storyline came up, she's not allowing her nephew to rest in peace. I literally am like, it cannot be the fact that the word shooting is the trigger for you to remember this thing that happened and say that Kandi didn't do enough. That is weird. That is just weird.
Can I touch upon...
That was part of her storyline last year, was that Kandi wasn't doing enough for her. So
yeah, it was. Yeah. It was, unfortunately. I want to touch upon Marlo and the way that she goes low. And I do not stand by the things that she says and how low she goes and all that stuff, because it is kind of crazy. But, you know, it's interesting because I think that does have to do a lot with her past, because last season we got to see Marlo's mom. And Marlo shared that there wasn't actually, like, I don't think she even recognizes what is truly, truly, like, disgustingly low, because those things were always said to her and her household. You know what I mean? So I feel like now in her adult life, she is learning low is not okay. And the low that you go is very much not okay. I feel like now she's learning that, as opposed to, you know, children learn that. They learn what's right and what's wrong at some point. I don't feel like she learned that, because her mom as she has stated, her mom just continuously went hard on her.
Okay, that's fine. Get a new life coach.
I mean, here's the thing. I'll share a little bit of this.
She's a therapist, not a life coach.
Yeah, I agree. You need something, and you don't need a life coach. You know, my father grew up in a household that was quite abusive, and yet he doesn't yell. And he doesn't, like, I think I've maybe heard him yell twice in my whole life. He backs my mom up constantly, and his mother was not kind to him. She, you know, and we even found out, like, his birth father had another child, like, all of this type of stuff. And so we found out, because I did the DNA test through 23andMe, because... what did I need to find out aside from that, apparently? But that being said, he got therapy and he grew. You, at a certain point, have to be an adult and say, I'm not going to let my childhood define me. That's right. And I'm not going to let my past trauma and hurt be my reason to hurt other people. There's a book by Lundy Bancroft, and while the title is Why Does He Do That? It can be about men or women, but it's about people who are abusive. And people who are abusive tend to, especially men, but okay, tend to blame their current behavior, why they're abusive to their partners and the people around them, on the childhood trauma and abuse they experienced. And what it says in the book that I have to bring up is that if you know what it's like to be verbally, emotionally, or physically abused, you know the pain and the hurt of that. So why would you want to do that to anyone else? And yet Marlo keeps choosing to do that. And she's grown.
Chooses violence all the time.
Yeah, if she were still in her 30s, even like 20s, 30s, I would excuse a lot of it more. And yes, now no one's perfect, and our traumas are going to come back up. True. But then you're not ready to be a housewife. Period. You weren't ready to have a peach if you cannot keep the trauma you experienced, which we know only like a smidgen of it, right? Like
That's true.
If you can't keep that from manifesting in a way where you are being just downright cruel, it's not your time to do this.
It's honestly, it's unfortunate to see, because I can see that, especially when she shared the story about her mom last season, I can see that there's no regulation button that she is, like, consciously and actively aware of. I think that it sounds like she's trying to build that awareness now. And we constantly, even though I think, I can't remember which one of you said it, that we see glimpses of growth. And then, I think it was you, Caitlin. We see glimpses of growth, and then she just goes right back to, like, just going low. You know what I mean? Where I feel like in those glimpses of growth, she's trying to apply whatever she's learning, whatever regulation she's learning, and then boom, head straight back to old Marlo when she sees it's not working and these people are actually provoking me and getting under my skin, or I'm not getting what I want. So yeah, I do agree that at some point you do need to take responsibility for working on the things that have happened to you and not allowing that to also then impact your interactions with other people. And that's what I think that she's trying to learn now, but I don't think that she should learn that while being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Much like how I say that the Gorgas need to quit, she needs to quit. because she needs to find healing, because there's something wrong. There's something tremendously wrong with her, like completely. All right, so this so we do see
Can I ask though?
Yeah,
because
sure.
there's a good question, right? With Marlo's accusations. Is Marlo right in, like, yes, okay, we see the behavior, we see what she says, right? Beyond that, her message is that no one talks, Kandi gets to talk about whatever she wants, and she gets to basically puppeteer the storylines, right? When everybody is expected to bring their storyline, everyone is expected to be real and share what's going on in their lives, right? As Andy will say, you're gonna share about your life. Great. So, is Marlo correct in that accusation that Kandi doesn't talk about the real things that are actually happening in her life?
Yes.
And could you guys provide some examples of what real things that Kandi would need to talk about in her life?
The things that are actually going on. Like for example, to be honest with you, for her mom, thank you. That's exactly who I was going to bring up. I actually, for a good amount of time, did not realize that Mama Joyce and Todd were still button heads. Did not know that was still a thing.
Same.
I also would love to know more about the dynamic between your blended family. I would love to see more of that dynamic. Let's see it. Also, what happened at your business? What happened? I do understand it's an open case.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about it, right? But this is not the first time that we've heard things that have happened at Kandi's business.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I would love to, I would love to get to know Kandi just a little bit more. All we really see from her are her scenes with the Kandi Coded crew.
Right.
That's really, I feel like, what I get from her, which is fine. We see you being like a businesswoman and trying to like do all these things. That's amazing. But I would like to see more of what's really happening in your life.
Question. Do y'all remember hearing that her brother, now the way she kept
that
saying
it
was died. She didn't say he was killed. She
Murdered.
didn't. She just kept saying he died.
I remember her saying
when
that
she
when
was
she
15.
signed on.
I barely remember. I mean, mind you, this was many years ago, but that, knowing that about her and seeing that with her, that's the Kandi. Now, I don't want her to have to be like reliving traumatic things in order for us to feel like we're connecting with her. Bear that in mind. I'm not saying that, but it was very, I don't know. It's like the Kandi that you know when she's really like heightened because she gets that shaky voice.
Yeah.
And you know when...
so annoying.
Yeah. Listen, can you imagine
I actually,
if that were
like,
you with the shaky voice?
Oh,
though,
absolutely. I feel for her whenever that happens because I know the type of person that is.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And I mean, listen, when she was crying because she was so mad, God damn it, I know that feeling. When you're just like, you know, as a female, because like... men get to exert their anger physically in a way that women can't. And so that feeling of like, oh, I'm not allowed to punch something. And if I punch something, I would hurt myself. But, you know, like,
I don't hurt myself.
like that, like, I know if I hit the wall, I wouldn't put my fist through it. I'd just end up breaking my knuckles and ruining my nails. I just got done. But it's like that Kandi that we're seeing how she's really feeling. Yes. You know, the weird arguments between her and Todd, like, I don't know. I think they are a lot of times ships passing in the night. And I think that's just the way they are.
Yeah.
So, do they have it arranged in some way for themselves? Sure. I don't know. But I think sometimes Kandi runs out of storyline as well because...
She's so busy.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, I don't know. It's like, I try and imagine what my life is like year to year. And yeah, maybe I just have a lot of stuff happen. And maybe I should have been on, I just wasn't rich enough or aspirational enough or whatever. But like, you know, like there's stuff happening, but some years it's been like a little more, I haven't had a chill year in a long time, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get it.
Where there's more activity. I personally think Kandi has given enough. I think the one thing that Marlo is jealous of with Kandi is that Kandi has utilized this platform to help propel her, right? Kandi is a business-minded woman. She knows exactly how to make something negative, turn it into a positive, and make it a coin for her. Now, the thing is, when
commercial.
Exactly. The thing is that, like, when Kandi started out, when she first had her first, what was it? The first man that she was going to marry, he died. Right. Yeah. We saw that. Right. And then number 2, the whole situation with Mama Joyce and her disrespect of her husband. We saw that for multiple seasons. Yeah. Like, go on. Right. And then also her surrogacy. Right. She's pregnancy and all the things that she had to go through. And then also her like trying to like be a businesswoman, Tony Award, all this stuff. She is giving and she's giving and she's giving. I don't know how in any possible way Marlo thinks that that's curated. Right? That she's curating those stories. She's giving portions of herself that a lot of these women really are not. What else do we need to know? I don't really want to continue to see Mama Joyce and her husband have this battle. I don't want to know about it, right? Do the viewers want to know about it? I guess we could ask them, and then maybe that'll help their ratings. I have no idea. But nobody needs to know that information. Kandi gives every season something.
But I'm also tired of seeing Don Juan and thinking that he is like the 7th housewife. I'm very exhausted with seeing that.
I haven't even seen Don Juan this season, to be quite honest with you.
What are you talking? Don Juan was up in that scene talking about, when we, the housewives, were up on stage, Mama Joyce was cutting up. What are you, Don Juan?
But that's the only time that you saw him this whole entire season.
And he was at Sanya's party or whatever. Don Juan has to make an appearance, and he thinks that he is a 7th housewife every season.
Well, he's who Kandi. Remember her. Here's the thing, too, is, like, sometimes the storyline with Kandi, I'm kind of like, y'all are reaching really high, like, and hard. Like, the whole thing about the will that they were putting together, like, I was just like, God, y'all, like, I don't want to think about y'all dying. I don't want to. This is something that, like, they do on a sitcom. Listen, even yesterday, I put on, like, there was nothing on the TV, and it was in the morning. I didn't want to watch the news because, sometimes the news exhausts me. And so I put on Reba.
What's Reba?
Oh, man. Reba McEntire, the show.
Her show. Single mama works too hard. Loves her kids and never stops.
Oh, my gosh, I don't know that show.
Some blow hands on the heart of a fighter.
Let me look this up.
I'm a survivor.
Yeah.
Which shout out to also if you watch Project Runway, Jonathan Cain Gillespie. I go way back with him. My long story short, I used to be one of his official models and like all of that. He does all of her stuff. Yeah, Cain, who's on Project Runway right now and just like won the All Stars Challenge, the first thing. Yeah, I was on his pilot on TLC and like. He even named a pair of shoes he designed after my mom. So,
really?
Like, Cain, we go way back. Like I don't know where the dress went. I think he had it at some point. I've had 2 Jonathan Cain original dresses. Like he designed one from scratch for me, all of it. Because pageants, in Norman, Oklahoma. Because that's where you find Project Runway people.
He said pageants in Norman, Oklahoma. I can't.
Yes, ma'am. And so my thing there is like, that was literally a storyline on a sitcom that was on in the early 2000s, the Will thing, and they were able to make a 30-minute sitcom out of it and make it funny and did all of that. But I didn't need Kandi talking about her will for half of a season last year,
Yeah, that's true.
And she's leaving so much of it to Don Juan or something like that. Like he's going to be the custodian or like the guardian of her kids
of
and
the
stuff.
Estate. Really? Like,
yes, it was something like that. Like,
wow.
It was something like that. He was going to be the executor of the estate.
Yes,
that was it.
Not
Mama Joyce.
Mama Joyce was like, it should be me. Mama Joyce should stay out of Kandi's finances.
Oof.
Like, no. And so and then we got more of that contention with Mama Joyce and Todd when that was happening anyway. But irrespective of whether or not we didn't want to see it or not, I think it was also a great lesson for those people and families to talk about death, right? Death and dying, right? I think it is. It's necessary. You may not want to see it on a reality TV show, but I think it was a great thing to bring out for people to like talk about what's going to be happening and allocated should anything bad happen to me, right? It's a conversation that not many families in America actually have until like the thing happens, right? So
I mean, there's
true. There's validity towards that. So yeah,
that's not what I tune into.
I'll say next. I'm not. I'm not even here.
But we only got a small. I think we only really got a small snippet of that during that season. Anyway, you have to really concretely provide and give something that Kandi has to do better and to do more. That is actually going to make her more relatable to the audience.
I almost feel like there is a thing that Marlo like obviously the cast, they know other things, right, about each other that they choose to not bring on camera, right? I almost would like to know if there is something that Marlo knows that should be talked about and is like obviously not bringing it up on camera, because the way that she was kind of like, Drew, what are you talking about, when Drew was trying to bring up the scene between or the whatever had happened at Kandi's
incident
business
versus shooting.
Right. So I'm like, is there something deeper that we are not? Obviously we can only judge based on what we see, right? I mean, you can't say nothing, you can't say there's something. We don't know. That's what I'm wondering, if there is something deeper or something else that is there that they cannot speak about on cameras.
No.
I think there's more about Marlo, like Ted Turner, and that's
Ted Turner.
Yeah.
What's going on with Ted Turner and Marlo? What was that situation? Sorry.
Isn't that his name? That like the TCM network or Turner Network? That's
who she dated, the billionaire.
Oh, okay. That she got her money from. Right, and all the things that Kandi was saying, like, you know, they've been saying, like, where does she get her money from?
That like, I would like to know.
Yeah. And everything.
That stuff, yes. Marlo ain't showing everything herself.
That
she
I would like
showing
to
all
know.
Her cards.
I would love to know where she gets her money from.
Kandi is just like, what would I like to see with Kandi? What would I watch? I would love to watch her songwriting processes. Oh my God.
I would like to see that.
Like,
you wrote No Scrubs. I would love to see your songwriting process.
But is she still doing that? Is she still doing songwriting now?
Who knows?
I mean, if she's doing that for a play and things like that. Yeah, I mean, listen, y'all, I remember my little 6-year-old butt in Oklahoma when TLC, listen, Crazy Sexy Cool came out, and I had that CD on repeat. I'm surprised I did not burn a hole in the ground with my CD player. And so, like, when I realized Kandi is the one who wrote No Scrubs, I was like, oh my God.
That's so cool, right? Yeah. Yes, when I saw that too, I was like, wow, that's really dope. I would love to, like, be in on that process.
Yes.
Last time we saw it was Don't Be Tardy for the Party.
Right. Because don't you find, like, if your brain doesn't work that way, it's like such a like insane mystery. Yeah. And that's where, like, Taylor Swift's Miss Americana, everyone went nuts over it because you got to see some of the songwriting process. I am more interested in Kandi Burruss's songwriting process. I mean, yeah, Taylor Swift, it's interesting, but Kandi Burruss, like, she made Don't Be Tardy for the Party.
And she made it
listenable.
Yeah, she did.
Absolutely. No, I would definitely love to see that. And I also wonder why
stuff from her.
I also this is a part of the reason why I also don't think that Drew is being, like, so real on this show, is because why didn't you just go to Kandi for your musical desires? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your friend, you know? But I don't know, I don't know what that dynamic is.
I don't think she's in with her like that yet. I think she's trying to get in.
I don't think so either. I really don't think so either. Honestly, I don't think she's really in with anybody like that, but whatever.
But what I love about Kandi, though, is that if you do, she's great at giving advice, business advice. Sheree should have listened to her business advice about starting off small, doing and then build, right? The one thing that Kandi is, the way that she talked in the last episode, she's like, I'm the type of friend. No, wait.
I'm so sorry.
Let me finish.
No, please.
I'm
go
the
ahead.
type of friend. She's the type of friend that is not necessarily going to be super emotional with you, but she's just going to tell you, like, hey, this is how we can move forward, you know, with this. She actually does give classes, like, at universities, like, on how to build a brand and how to do what she's been doing. And so those women, whatever business you're trying to do, music, producing, blah, 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 the relationship that Kenya does have with her is one thing that I say Kenya is very smart on keeping that relationship, because I'm pretty sure Kenya is getting ideas with it from being around Kandi and learning and growing from her, for Kenya to learn how to build her business, right? So Kandi is really great at doing that. And I don't think Kandi is the type of person who wants to keep things for herself and to herself. And the one thing I appreciate about her is that she's the wealthiest one on the show, and you can't even tell. She lives a very humble and low-key life in certain ways that you couldn't tell that she is so freaking wealthy. And that's actually what wealth does. Whereas Marlo, she's the rich, right? She's loud about all these things. But when you're wealthy, wealth whispers. Rich just like screams, right? So I absolutely I don't need Kandi to give me any more, because I can already see into who she is and what she's about. So I end my case.
I'm glad you can see that. Before we switch gears to I'm sorry.
Shades. Why are you being so shady? Like,
sorry. I couldn't pass it up. Before we switch gears to talk about, I did want to talk about Sanya or Sanya, whichever one, right?
I never know.
I never know either, and I really apologize because I can never pronounce anyone's name apparently. But I wanted to come back to what you said about Kandi giving Sheree advice. I'm going to be very honest with you. I think even if Sheree tried to follow Kandi's advice, Sheree ain't doing nothing. Sheree, I'm so sorry. She is just not a go-getter.
Yeah, she's not a go-getter.
She's not. Even if she were to follow Kandi's advice to a T, I just do not think that it would actually work for Sheree, because Sheree she took 14 years to build a house.
She's unoriginal is part of the problem too.
She's unoriginal. She is all over the place. She just honestly does things for show. It's like to make herself seem like she is this lavish person with such great ideas. Like, for example, last season when she was talking about that penis pouch on her joggers, I think she really thought that was a moment. She really thought like, I'm doing the damn thing, and this is yeah.
And it never pans out, just like how spring, summer, September.
And that's the thing. Sheree has a stutter. And I notice when she doesn't stutter, she's rehearsed. Honestly, she's just
I didn't even notice that she had a stutter.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when Sheree starts talking real quiet, and like, when she's going in and she's like very like, oh yeah, oh what, you see that? Oh yeah, I see that too. Like, that's when she's like trying really hard to be shady and petty, and it's not working.
Yeah.
And she brings her voice down, because then you have to lean in. Like, listen, street smarts are, if you're walking down the street and someone's like, can you come talk to me for a second? Talk real quiet. They're trying to get you to lean in.
Yeah.
Nope, you're going to have to speak up for me, sir.
So, right, exactly.
You too, Sheree.
Exactly.
You too. She's trying to buy herself time, usually, when she's
to
doing
actually
that,
think about what she wants to say and how to
you have to lean in. What? Because it makes people say, what? What are you saying?
I can see that for sure. For sure. But anyway, Sheree, we're done with you. Sanya. Yeah. I'm going to go with Sanya. Okay.
I'll say Sanya.
So Sanya, I'm going to go ahead and skip to the Keeping It Gucci brunch that Sheree had on this last episode. So everyone had to wear Gucci. They went to a restaurant and they were having brunch. And I guess the purpose of this brunch is to get everyone to be on one accord again and get everyone to mend fences and blah, 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 blah with their beef and yada, yada, yada. So obviously this was a moment for Kandi and Marlo to have another blowout and, make TV. That's what it really was.
Right.
But aside from that, Sanya confronted Kenya. Sanya confronted Kenya about her friendship with her, and specifically stated like, hey, Kenya, I don't feel that this friendship between you and I is reciprocated. Kenya responds and Kenya says, well, I don't trust you. And I don't trust you because you called me that you were going to do press. You went on Watch What Happens Live. And I quote, this is what was the producers went to the flashback of Watch What Happens Live. And this was what was said. Andy says, do you believe Kenya has a fake booty? Sanya responds and says, well, when Marlo brings it to your attention and you look at the shape of it, it looks like it could potentially be a fake booty, but I'm not sure. I can't believe this is what we're talking about. So Kenya says that she was offended by that statement. So I would like to ask you all, do you believe Kenya is reaching with her offense of this statement and her not trusting Sanya because of that response?
leading the witness judge, but yeah,
Right? Yeah.
she is reaching.
Objection leading. I know. I can't help myself.
Yeah, she is, because it's like y'all have been doing this for so long. Okay, come on. Like, there is going to be something to be said. And they go on the press tours. You say stuff, and that's the way it goes. You know what I mean? Like, because when she was going there, I thought, man, if I had to be stressed about every little tiny comment. Now, this wasn't a tiny comment, but that I made about every coworker, you know, when I'm being asked something on the fly, and if it's Watch What Happens Live, depending on when they, like, what time of day, she may have had a drink or two, you know, like, Andy likes to lube them up with that. Like, that's typically how that goes. So it's kind of like, Kenya, come on, this is not your first rodeo. That's really what your biggest issue is going to be. So then that leads to me, or lends to the point that y'all both were making, which is that what is there that's going on behind the scenes that they are not able to speak on camera?
I don't think
that
there's
cannot
much.
be your one issue, is her saying, well, I don't know, it might kind of look fake. Because y'all, we know there are so many ways around a fake butt. It's not just a BBL. It's not just
shots.
You know. Yes, there's so many ways around it. Now listen, is it because I've looked into it myself? Absolutely.
Oh, God, Caitlin, no.
She ain't got the time or the money.
Listen, do you, boo boo? Do you?
Sometimes I work very hard. I do like 2 or 3 leg days a week.
Okay.
And listen, I'm a little bit head to heel from the side. Now,
I hear it.
my point is, there's no shame in it. Okay.
Listen, dude.
Right.
That is one of my biggest things that I will shout from the mountaintops.
Yeah.
If you got work done, just admit it. If
It's
you're on a
okay.
platform,
It's okay.
Kardashians,
I know.
admit
Don't
it,
even get me
because then the rest of
started
us
about
women
that.
hate ourselves when we
and
can't
Sheree.
naturally look that way. So
No. I mean, yeah, she's probably definitely reaching. I just think that Kenya doesn't really value Sanya. And I think Sanya needs to be okay with not having a friendship with Kenya. Like, you don't need it. You don't need to have it. It's okay.
Do you believe that this is her not valuing Sanya as prompted by her friendship with Kandi?
No. I think Kenya has a mind of her own. And I think that last season when we saw Kandi and Sanya go at it during the Jamaica trip, right?
Kandi and Sanya?
Kenya doesn't...
Oh, Kenya.
Yeah.
Okay, Kenya and Sanya.
Kenya and Sanya, excuse me. Kenya and Sanya go at it. Yeah, Kenya doesn't really think that Sanya is a formidable person for her. Like, you know it all. I don't think she does. And so she doesn't want Sanya's friendship. And Sanya needs to be okay with it and just be done with it. I don't know what else to say.
I think Kandi and Sanya want to like each other, though. I think they
Kenya
want...
and Sanya, or Kandi and Sanya? And Sanya.
Kandi and Sanya, I think they want to like each other. I think they want to get along, and I think they kind of want... I think they have such a deep respect for each other in some way. Like, I think they... like. Kandi respects Sanya for like the hustle, the way she has worked her way up as an athlete. Yeah. And they see each other for that hard work that they've done, and they recognize each other for that. And so I think they want to like each other, but sometimes you don't have to like everyone you respect.
Absolutely, you don't. And with Kandi and Sanya, they have an outside relationship apart from the show because of the whole trips that they take with their families together and things like that. So they were forming a friendship, right? Where I can understand Candy's ire about how Sanya is continuously sticking up for Marlo, right? It's you know, there's a brewing friendship forming, and Sanya, she does ride the fence. I don't think Sanya, and the one thing I will say that I've loved that Kandi has done this season is that she just continues to confront Sanya directly in her face. So what did you, when the girl said that I brought out the ghetto, what did you say? You know, how did you defend me as your friend in that situation? And then when it comes to this whole situation with Marlo, she's just like, I'm about tired and done with you and your girls, right? It's that's somebody who has some type of friendship with her. But back to Kenya does not. I think Kenya is right in saying that I'm just watching you. I just need some time, because Kenya is observing Sanya. But I also do not think that Kenya wants anything to do with Sanya anyway. And I think it's because of Sanya's affiliation with Marlo. Period.
No, I think
right?
she's just
like,
a mean person. I think she feels like she needs her. She doesn't obviously want to have anything to do with Marlo. She doesn't even acknowledge Marlo or whatever. So I think like outside in her mind, Marlo's not even actually there. So Kenya feels that she needs someone to have beef with. No, because because what I don't like and what I don't agree with is if this were reversed and someone were treating Kenya like this, she would start provoking everybody up, down, left, right, and center. So for me, I'm actually not for this in any way, shape, or form because Sanya has done nothing wrong to you.
But
Sanya
for
has.
Example, go ahead.
No. Go ahead, please.
No. Sanya has done nothing wrong to you. Go ahead. Keep going.
She hasn't done anything wrong to you, so you have no reason to want to look at her from the side or whatever the case is. You're friends with Sheree. You're fine with Sheree. Yeah, you and Sheree go back and forth about Martell or whatever the case is. But no conversation with Kenya and Sheree comes up about Marlo. So why now are they choosing Sanya to be like, oh, well, you're friends with her. Why are you looking at... No, it's never been an issue before.
Kenya and Sheree have a history that she and Sanya don't. There is that.
But you can't pick and choose now who like, oh, I don't like her because Drew was cool with Marlo for some time, but Drew's one of your closest friends.
I don't think Drew's one of Kenya's closest friends. I think they're cordial.
That's what Kenya said on the show. Kenya said, I would like my closest friends aren't even here to back me up. Drew and Kandi. That's what she said a few episodes ago.
I think she meant on the show.
On the show.
Co-workers that are her. Yes, that's fair. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like amongst the cast, they're obviously not within like close world, friends. Yeah. And no. But like, I just feel like it's just like picking and choosing. And Sanya seems to be the next target. Like if Marlo leaves, I feel like Sanya will be the next target. I do. And Kenya is severely reaching because who are you? Because one of the things that she said to Sanya was, I just have to wait and see to see if you're worthy of my trust. Who are you? Who are you that she has
because
to?
She's.
I wish Sanya would
being
give
observant.
No, I don't think that's observant.
She's being observant of behavior
she's
that
just
she wants around her.
Evil person that she is.
Here's the thing.
She's not evil.
Here's the thing.
She's very evil.
If I had someone, I'm going to put it in this context.
No.
If I had someone that was in my quote unquote friend circle that was bringing up my most painful, traumatic things, and now I'm not saying Kenya doesn't do that too. Bear with me here. And Marlo like I was saying before, she brings up Kenya's mother abandoning her. I'm not even going to bring up the things that someone could say to me. But if any new person that I had no history with is associating with them, yeah, no, you can kick rocks.
I wonder then. Interesting.
You need to be like a little bit like. If you want to ride the fence, ride the fence.
It's like a stiff arm over here. Don't come near me. No,
I find that interesting because 2 seasons ago Kenya made up with Marlo. So I just that's why I find it to be very interesting that now that she's picking and choosing like, oh yeah, you can't be friends with her and I'm going to look at you sideways, but you just did the same thing 2 seasons ago, which is what caused the rift between Marlo and Portia. You know what I mean?
They were trying.
So you can't fault anybody else for coming in and trying as well, and actually seeing like, you know what, there's good in this person. Let me continue on with that relationship.
But
that's
Caitlin
not fair.
But like Caitlin said prior. Why am I like arguing for these women like this? But like Caitlin said prior, Marlo has a habit of doing good and then going low, right? And every single opportunity she has gotten, she goes for Kenya and she goes low. So Kenya, the reason I can appreciate Kenya is that irrespective of her villainous attitudes towards other cast members that really help to make the show a little bit more interesting, right? Irrespective of that, she has principles that she is guided by herself, right? If I have tried to have an olive branch, if I've tried to make nice with you, and in making nice with you, you again go for the thing that is the lowest point of my life. Again, how many more times and opportunities am I going to give you for you to show me who you are? Kenya has marked Marlo. You have shown me who you are, and that is that.
Sorry.
And the thing is, if Kenya wanted to go for Sanya, it wasn't Kenya who brought up the whole relationship issue between Sanya, right? If Kenya wanted to go for Sanya this whole entire season, Kenya would have gone for Sanya.
I think
this
it's
whole entire
but I think
season.
the whole her whole non-trust for her is pointless. Like, if anyone were to do that to you, you would shut down heaven and earth to make sure that you try to show. It's just, it makes no sense whatsoever.
I'm sorry.
She is not.
I'm sorry. I still think Sanya is riding on the wrong team this season.
She is.
That's okay.
I think she's on the wrong team.
That's okay.
And
we don't know
whatever is clouding her judgment, because objectively,
we don't know what she sees in Marlo that she is continuing to check in with her and be friends with her. I don't know what she sees there, but
oh God.
Yeah, I think with Marlo, this is the thing. And this is where I can see all the sides, and this isn't just me like riding the fence. This is me saying like, okay, I have been in that like abusive relationship with someone, and Marlo is abusive. Like, don't misinterpret it. She is abusive, and Kenya can be as well. The thing is, Sanya, this is her second season, right?
Yeah.
So she came out with a bang. And she came out bop, 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 guns blazing, literally.
Bop, bop,
and
bop,
so,
bop, bop, bop.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so now she wants to back off from what she asked for with this, though. She said, I'm here to play, and now she doesn't like it when they're playing. And that's the thing that you have to remember when it comes to this is like, a lot of times too, the second season, a lot of people end up going, oh, I went too hard or not hard enough in the first season. And this is the season that they end up either just go like Salt Lake City is a great example. Meredith Marks went like intense, like too intense her second season. And it's like that they tend to overcorrect in one way or another. Right. And that's usually the issue. So once they get to that point, then we kind of tend to turn. And that's why, yes, Housewives deserve a second season. They deserve a third season as well, especially in something like this. So with that being said, I think that Kenya needs to redirect her issue back to Marlo because, yes, they have tried. They've tried to go back and forth. But the problem is that Marlo is verbally abusive at the end of the day. Was she verbally abused throughout her life? Yes, I believe that. I believe she's verbally abused as an adult as well, by whoever she was in a relationship with. The power dynamic, I can only imagine if as a black woman with a white man who is a billionaire, and that power dynamic that man must have been really playing to, I can only imagine, and that's where my empathy wants to go with her.
Yeah.
You are now even older though. You're grown.
Right. Yeah.
You gotta you have the money for therapy. There are plenty of people who want to do and be better and don't have the money you do for therapy.
Yeah.
Go get therapy. Stop going to a life coach.
Yeah.
It's kind of sick the way she won't stop.
Yeah.
And then yes, it's not Sanya's fault, but Sanya needs to either say, look, I want to be on the side of good or evil. And when Marlo gets to that side of evil, she's charmed. First of all, she gets charmed by Marlo. Marlo can be very charming.
That's what she says.
That's the thing is like, especially abusive people, they know how to be charming because they have to find a way to get back into your good graces after being abusive.
Yeah.
And so they have to convince everyone else around them that they are good people. So they have to learn how to be really charming. And so Marlo is charming. Like that interaction with, what was it, her manager and someone, I can't remember the couple, like, were they a couple?
At the table?
Oh, right.
At the restaurant?
Yes.
Who are those
I know. I was a little
people?
confused.
Her people.
Her boyfriend, her girlfriend, her mom, her dad.
Right. I'm
She
like,
kind of referred
wait,
to
who
them
are
as.
these people? I think I fast forwarded through that scene.
Kind of, yeah. But like you can see where she can get people around her who love her. And it's easy to love people who are charming and then also abusive because then they'll turn around and be like, it's not my fault I'm abusive. Even when she said, I had my rights taken away for owning a gun, she didn't say, oh, I messed up and
I did
then
this thing.
I had my rights taken away. She said, I had my rights taken away. She didn't even acknowledge it. And listen, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Which we would like
I
to
think
really
she
fast.
deserves for everyone to move on from that, though.
Absolutely.
Like, that's not fair to her. Everyone cuts her off immediately and starts saying, oh, well, you slashed this woman in the face. That's a horrible thing to do. It was 23 years ago. Come on, y'all. Like, we got to let her move on from that, too. If she has done better and been better, by not doing like violent physical acts like that. And I did appreciate that the producers showed she had her hands behind her back.
That she did. Yes,
I was gonna say, what did we
absolutely.
think about that and Drew saying like she's aggressive, she's violent, get her out of here?
That's the part where I disagree with Drew.
Yeah.
It's just like Drew painted, Marlo is a tall, I'm up about 5'10". Diana's about the same. We're pretty tall. How tall are you, Caitlin?
5'7".
Okay. Like,
That's up
when
there.
we
Short.
stand when
That's
we
up there,
stand next to women who are 5'4", 5'5", like we present larger and maybe we look a little bit more dominating, right? And so I think Marlo, being taller and just bigger in general, like for Drew to say, oh, she was being aggressive, it's like, no, she actually was not aggressive at all. She just is bigger as a person, and she wasn't doing anything that was showing forth aggression. And then on the contrast of it, the producers asking Kandi, did you feel threatened by Marlo? And Kandi is like, threatened? No, I didn't feel threatened, right? And I appreciated the clarity there for that situation. So it's good.
Yeah. And I
If
think
we
that
have to
highlights
use the
Drew's ignorance.
the A word was really thrown around a lot there.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. And Drew was trying to paint a picture that was not pretty.
She was, and it highlights her ignorance. I do think Drew is also an ignorant person.
It was another case of like a light-skinned black woman, legally darker skinned black woman.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't even want to say the word. We're gonna call it the A word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not asshole.
Absolutely.
It's just, can we just not use that word?
Yeah.
We should just stop using it entirely. Find a different synonym.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
to wrap this up, very last question.
Yep.
I think we all, I can't remember if we said this or not, but I think we all agree that this season is just like piss poor and just not giving.
Needs help.
Right? Okay.
Life support.
Right. What do you all think needs to happen to the casting in order to get RHOA? I don't even know if it'll ever be back to where it once was, but to at least get RHOA back to close to a number one spot.
Marlo should be fired. One, she needs to be off. Number two, they need to just find somebody who, I think there's a new friend that Kenya has. I like her. The one that they've shown snippets of, the one that's married to the football player.
She in the salon space
with her, and then they showed their two kids, interacting and all that stuff. Find a personality that is going to elevate the show a little bit, and then also give it a little bit more pizzazz. I don't know who. I would definitely not say bring Phaedra back. I don't want Phaedra back on the television screen for Real Housewives of Atlanta, personally. But I think they need to fire Marlo, get rid of Sanya, find new blood. It needs new blood, new and fresh blood for me. Get rid of Sheree too, because I don't know that either. Get rid
right there with you, girl.
New and fresh blood.
Yeah.
New and fresh blood.
Gosh. Well, we're never gonna get Nene back.
No.
However we feel about her as a person, it's really Nene. It's like one of those things where you didn't know it was the good old days until it was after the good old days. Yeah, and I remember we are supposedly getting some Kim Zolciak coming up.
Oh no!
Hey.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she's supposed to be on this season. Yeah, I thought there was something that she was gonna make a cameo.
Yes.
I don't know why we're keeping Kim Zolciak around yet. We're doing things like if we're gonna like you fire Stassi Schroeder and you fire Kristen Doty.
Yeah.
Then why are you keeping Kim Zolciak?
Yeah.
How is that a thing?
She doesn't need to be there.
Right.
I want Kim there if Nene's there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
There's nothing there without Nene. It is just.
Thank you.
It's just
that's the way it goes. Either they need to really shake it up. I think Sanya was like their Danielle Cabral. She could have been more. She brings family dynamic, but they need a Nene Leakes in there. If it's not going to be her, they need someone like her, and it needs to be someone who is not like young. They need someone a little bit older who can like almost have a little bit of an authoritative, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah, that lightning in a bottle you were talking about.
Yeah.
They need that person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need them.
You know,
What
on
do you think,
our
Diana?
TikTok, I did say that I would like to have a recreation of what happened in Miami. And in a perfect world, that would be Nene, Phaedra, Portia to come back, and then 3 fresh new people, or 4 fresh new people, and put them all in a house together and figure it out, you know? But
Yeah, I do like
realistically,
Phaedra. She's
obviously,
funny.
Nene is definitely not coming back. And I do think, I also said that I wish that if they were to do that dynamic, that 3 olds and then like 4 new, take it off Bravo and put it on Peacock, because we're tired. Yeah. But I think if that's not going to happen, because to be very honest with you, as much as I am not a fan of Kenya, I think Kenya works when she has like a Nene or a Portia or somebody,
A formidable
to actually,
opponent.
Exactly. She's not working this season, and it's like she's just like grasping at straws to bring story, and it's just not to make scenes, and she's fighting with Martell, and I'm like, why are you fighting for, like, this is dumb. You know what I mean? I just personally don't think that she's actually giving like she used to, you know? She is the villain, and I think I appreciated her more as a villain. That's just my opinion. I think I've appreciated her more.
I like it when she
as
leans
a
into
villain,
her villain.
more when like Portia
She's
and
a
them
great
are
villain.
there. Yeah, so that's what I would rather see. But since Nene and them are not coming back, Phaedra's on Married to Medicine. Portia, there's potential. She made a comment about whatever. I do think she should come back. But if Nene cannot
like
come
Portia.
back, I love Portia. Not love, but I like her. She's cool. But if Nene cannot come back, honestly, I say scrap it and do an RHOA legacy and create a whole new cast. Create a whole new cast. Let's get some Falcons players. Let's get some Hawks players. Sorry, like the wives of Hawks players,
Some
Falcons
wags.
players. Yeah, some
Okay.
wags. Let's get some Atlanta is Black Hollywood. Let's get some business owners that like run
There's gotta be
Atlanta.
more.
There's more. There is more. They're not
different
searching
friend
far
group.
and wide. And I think that's the reason why like Housewives are not really doing so hot any longer, because I think that the heavy hitters of these like cities, they don't want to be on these shows. You know what I mean? So it's going to be difficult.
Yeah,
so.
they're not bored enough to be
Exactly.
to be
Exactly.
not, because I don't want to label women who are housewives as bored, but I'm saying they're not, they don't have an, it's the people who have too much to lose that won't do it, and that have the real stuff happening.
Right.
But yeah, you know what? I don't mind that idea either, Diana. I'm so like, I don't love change. So I'm like,
I don't either.
because
But I think
when they got rid of Roni, Christina Ramona needed to go. But like, also, it's just, I'm nervous about the new Roni and all of that. And so like, but I think absolutely, because don't get rid of, we only have 2 shows. We were talking a little bit about that before. Like, there are only 2 shows that are all Black women. Like, don't get rid of it, please. That's part of why I think so many of us are fighting for it. Like, we're like, please, just get it together, because we don't want to see them go. Like,
I say go on Peacock.
do something.
It's not giving. And I also, Mara, I'm so sorry. I do want Kandi to exit. Here's why.
I think she will.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah, she will.
Seeing how she was with Marlo and how upset she got, and like, honestly, almost like flipped Kenya over for just holding her back. I don't like to see that from Kandi. I don't like to see that. I don't like to see someone get her that upset. Yeah. So if the women are going to get her like that, then since you're better, take yourself and just get your own show. I know Bravo will probably give her own show, but
She's had plenty of her own show. She doesn't need another of her own show. Like, I
guess
just
so.
let her go get her EGOT. Like, maybe that's what we need.
Yeah,
maybe she
go
just
get
needs
it.
to
Come back once you've gotten it and let us know about it. I don't know, do a documentary or something.
Yeah,
but just this ain't for you. This is not for you. But anyways, thank you so much, Caitlin. Can you tell the people one more time where they can find you?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Find at Besties by Bravo on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. You can find my podcast on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, like literally anywhere. You can't get rid of me. I'm everywhere.
Yes,
awesome.
Yes. And just like we said last time, if you are into Scandival and want to know all things Scandival, please do hit her up.
Absolutely.
Go listen to her
It
podcast.
is exhausting.
Please.
Thank you for having me.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh,
you
we
ladies so
love
much.
you so
Love
much. So
you.
thank you so much for joining. Thank you everybody for listening, and we hope to have you on next time. So thank you everybody.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.